So, per usual, I wasn't given a true countdown or a run in or whatever, but that's the type of amateur shit that we're working with here on the Kayfabe Cowboys podcast. All right. Nonetheless, welcome to another episode of the illustrious, award-winning, that's never going to win a motherfucking award, the Black Wrestling Podcast about those black fans who are completely enamored with the fact that real American beer has been taken off to the mats on Raw. Nonetheless, we are the Kayfabe Cowboys podcast. So, what we're getting into tonight, well, before we dive into the agenda for the evening, first, I want to send out thoughts, prayers, hot chicken noodle soup, vitamin C, B, and all of the other things that are going to get my man right, man. So we're sending out healing energy to brother Nick. The flu bug has got him.
He's currently on the sick and shut-in list.
Sick and shut-in list. He's been hit with the ankle lock submission, man, and hopefully he's not going to tap out. But Nick, we wish you the best. Hope he might, you never know. He might jump
up.
He might pop up. From out of nowhere. He might go RKO. But anyway, man, this is the post Royal Rumble episode of the Kayfabe Cowboys podcast. As you can see, there's an unfamiliar face on the screen right now.
A weird face.
Who? You said a weird face?
A blackhead.
A blackhead.
I'll take that.
Hey man, so this is
February.
This is a friend of the show. Hey, brother Clay, say what's up to the folks, man.
Folks, I was one of you last week. This week, I got my cup of coffee in the big time. You know what I'm saying? Got my cup of coffee in the big time.
You got your call up?
Yeah, that's right. Straight from the Performance Center.
You wasn't NXT doing nothing, and now you on the main roster now.
Nah, he was on NXT Level Up.
I got fired. You know what I'm saying?
205 Live.
President said I had to come to work.
Shit, 205 Live. He was the king of the cruiserweights. Man, and also on the screen right now, we have the man who actually runs the audio visuals, the man that handles the electronics, all the technical difficulties that he seems to troubleshoot with no problem. The man who is running a multi-million-dollar digital marketing brand from here, taking us to different heights and stratospheres that we never could have imagined. The sultry one, the only, Shadrick L.A. Mont. Say what's up to the folks,
Not
bro.
L.A.
Yeah.
That is me. That is, I feel like we just got a lot to talk about. A lot of things ruffled my feathers over the weekend, so it's going to be a long one. Pause.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Feathers will
What's
be
early?
ruffled, man.
Yeah.
What's early?
Yeah, so those of you who follow the show, y'all don't really know what time we normally record. So typically we record at 6 p.m. on our recording evening on Wednesdays, but we had to jump on pause. We had to get into the conversation a bit early because we're probably going to have a longer run time than normal, because there's just so many things that we actually need to pause, touch on. Yeah. So yeah, man, we got to get into it, man. Let's go.
So I guess first let's hop into a little, a world famous shot icebreaker, right?
I've heard of these.
We need a graphic on the screen.
I'm gonna come with a little graphic or something. Yeah, some ice melting or something like that.
A little graphic.
Yeah.
The ice dripping.
Yeah, ice dripping. So I want y'all to rank these in order to least important to most important.
Okay.
Yeet Mania, Kofi Mania, the Yes Movement.
Least important to most important.
Oof. All right. I'll go first. I'll give you more time to think. Least important, I'm gonna go Kofi. Then I'm gonna go Yeet. Most important, Yes Movement. That's where I'm landing. And the reason I'm doing that, Kofi Mania was it was organic. You know what I'm saying? It happened because what's my guy? Mustafa Ali got hurt. Kofi got injected into the Elimination Chamber, and the fans were clamoring for something different to see a moment made at Mania, and it was dope, but it was a fleeting moment. Then we're looking at Jey Uso, the Yeet Mania. It's been building for quite some time.
For a while.
Yeah, for the past few years, actually. But I think that this moment would not happen if we didn't have the Yes Movement. like where the fans actually were able to, add some fire and some fuel to a situation and get behind, push creative to do something that the fans wanted to see. So I'm gonna go with the Yes Movement as being the most important of the three.
All right, Clay, what you got?
I hate that I have to start the podcast off with agreeing with GA because I objectively said that I was gonna disagree with every single thing that GA said, but I gotta agree. It was definitely Heat Mania was number 2 and Kofi Mania was number 3, and I'm gonna take the Yes Move as number 1. It seemed like the Yes Movement is still relevant today. I can't really say that Kofi Mania is. I don't see
Kofi
people
Mania ended as soon as
screaming
he
out
won that
Kofi at all.
championship.
Yeah.
It was
The
a
the,
wrap.
the Beast Incarnate,
Yeah,
the
in
Black
9
Man
seconds.
Slayer came out to in that in that real quick.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really a fan of all three. Like this Yeet Mania, I am not a fan. I know that we're gonna get into that later, but I just wanted to preface the conversation with that. I am not a fan of this. I I respect Jay, but and his accomplishments and what he's done, hard work paid off. But yeah, I'm not a fan
So do we
of
want to
the
just hop
of the
into
Yeet
it?
Mania. Say again.
Do we want to? Is that the segue to hop into it right now?
I'm
Well,
a big
actually,
fan of hopping into it.
I gotta hear what your rank is, Shaw.
That's a
I
good point.
mean, y'all already know from the previous episode how I feel about Kofi Kingston and his run. So I definitely feel that's last. I gotta
Man.
agree with y'all. Like Uso is doing all right. I feel like he's just over, but he brings nothing else to the table, to be honest with you. And so I feel like Daniel Bryan was like organic. Plus, he could actually do all the things of a top player. So, and I just remember that scene of when he beat, I think it was Bray Wyatt in the cage, and then everybody was just going like yes and all that type of stuff. So I would
Yeah, that shit
definitely
was
have to,
crazy.
yeah, it was wild. So I would definitely have to put
He had
him
a
as
nice
number
little
one.
run.
Yeah, he had a good
He
run.
had a nice
So
little run. That pop at WrestleMania, what was it, Batista and
Randy Orton,
Randy Orton he fought?
yeah,
Crazy work to knock
yeah.
off two future Hall of Famers.
Mm-hmm.
But I just never been
Especially
a fan of Daniel.
Bautista.
Batista and the Viper
Mm-hmm.
and Triple H. He might have beat him too.
Yeah, that is true.
I
Damn.
guess it was time to play the game, wasn't it?
All right.
They gave him the rub, bro. They gave him the rub.
Yeah, I'm trying to set up the Royal Rumble plate. No, that's 2024. What are we doing? Trying to have this just playing, so I can glance up at it from time to time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I feel like it's important for us to just go ahead and hop into the meat and potatoes of this episode.
Yeah,
And
let's
that
get
is the Royal Rumble. I have a lot of thoughts, I have a lot of opinions, but so Clay, since you're the guest and you already started off, matter of fact, let's go, what's your take of the overall show?
The show was an A. I'm not gonna lie. This was probably one of the best WrestleManias in the past 10 years. I was
It's
having some
Royal Rumble.
conversations
It's
about
Royal Rumble
this.
though. It's Royal
Yeah,
Rumble,
the
not
best Royal
WrestleMania.
Rumble. Hey,
Yeah, that
I'm
too.
already. Hey, man, I just looked at myself in the camera and I just seen it everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I was just a little mistaken. But yeah, the best Royal Rumble in the past 10 years. I would say before this one, the Rumble where Drew eliminated Brock with the
Yeah.
Claymore. That's the only thing even close to this Mania in the past, like I said, decade. From top to bottom, it was produced wonderfully. The angles from the camera angles that they were catching, I was like, "Yo, these people are cooking the film."
You clicked off.
Yeah, we probably didn't need to hear the rest of what he was saying. So, it's the Lord works in mysterious ways, and he finds a time to let you know that he's here. So so are you back?
Nah.
He might have had to. I'm telling you, man, shoot, when the Lord wants to make himself known, he shows up.
Sabotage, straight sabotage.
It's a sabotage.
Is this what this is what we doing here?
Yo, where is the Royal Rumble for this year? That's just not on, it's not on Peacock right now.
It's on my
Yeah, it's
Peacock.
not. That's crazy. Son of a bitch. All right. Well,
So the actual Rumble match, the men's Rumble match, let's be more specific. What are y'all thoughts?
I might get cut off again. GA might cut my power again, so I'm gonna let him speak.
Hey man, I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
I see what's going on here.
So, did you want me to jump in first, Clay?
Yeah.
Pause. All right. So, for the men's match, I enjoyed the story that was told. Like I give the match a A. I don't really know how you could really grade a Rumble because it's not really like a match. But I like the stories they told. Like your first two entrants being Ray and Penta, like allowing them to have their moment just because of everything that Ray means to Penta.
Yeah, I just knew it was gonna be Ray and Dom to start it off. Once I saw Ray, I was like, oh, Dom is definitely gonna be number 2.
Yeah,
I'm glad they didn't because Ray would have taken his belt off and whooped him. I'm tired of seeing that. And then I liked how they cooked with a lot of mid card stars. Like they let a lot of people get their shit off.
Yeah.
And then I believe it was at 16 when my tribal chief was injected into the fold, and things really picked up from there, and they didn't really slow down. I was at an event Saturday night, so I wasn't watching it live, but I was keeping up with it. And Nick was actually bartending at this joint. So I go over there. Well, I didn't know that he was going to be at the same place I was at.
Yeah.
So I go over to the bar, order a drink, and then he reaches down underneath of the bar. He pulls up his iPad. So he was watching the Rumble live while he was mixing them drinks.
It's a big deal, yo.
So
it's a big deal.
Yeah, so I end up going back to the bar to get a drink when it just happened to be the last two. It was the sequence with John Cena and Jey Uso out on the apron. Like that was crazy. Just like impeccable timing. So I got to walk back my frustrations with them about Jey Uso's organic just being as over as he is right now, because I was pissed that they weren't doing anything with it. But this is a bigger moment and it's going to set up for an even bigger moment with him going to Mania and possibly, winning the championship there as opposed to Saturday night's main event. But my highlight of the night was seeing Isho Speed actually, get into the Rumble, man. That was cool.
Yo, that spear is probably the craziest thing I've seen in a while.
Yeah, I would say him getting in was great, but him getting out was even better, bro. That shit was hilarious.
They do not mess with him. I feel like they do not mess with him. Like people forget that RKO that he took at WrestleMania was vicious. Like he put some extra sauce on that.
It's like, why is nobody telling this man how to fall?
That too.
Nobody's telling him how to take a bump.
Yeah. Because I feel like he was a little slow to his spot on that spear. Because of course, Braun was, he was running the ropes behind him, but I think he turned around to his spot too late. So it made the bump look a whole lot harder than what it should have been, Paul. The fact that they threw him out of the ring, Otis caught him, and then he hit him with a fallaway slam over the announce table. That was cool. But I like that they find ways to actually inject social media stars into the Rumble. You know what I'm saying? They've been doing it for years, even before the advent of social media. So I love the match. I love the stories that that happened along the way. I loved the seeing it was CM Punk, AJ Styles, LA Knight, and Seth Rollins take turns just like stomping a mud hole and Logan Paul in the corner. That was dope.
Yeah.
And also I heard that, there were one or two stars that were getting their shit in and fucked up a spot in the match, and Drew wasn't supposed to be eliminated when he was. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna ramble too much, man. I enjoyed the match, man. I'll pass it off to Clay or Shad, whoever.
Yeah, I think my highlights, and I feel like this might piggyback into something that Clay's gonna say, is like, of course, the Isho Speed part I felt like was sick. I've watched that a couple times since then. I like the whole. They had Roman come out, then they had Punk come out, and then they had Rollins come out, and I was like, all right, now it's like on. And then just the whole interactions between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, like I didn't know where they was gonna take Roman Reigns, because I always pegged him, pause. I always had him slided. I always had him slided to work with The Rock. So once The Rock came out, I was like, all right, so what they about to do now? And so to have Seth and Roman possibly going one-on-one at Mania, like I feel like that is a top tier match for WrestleMania. And even that stomp that he took, outside where he was like 2 feet on his head, like that was crazy.
Nasty.
That it looked like he took the brunt of that.
Yeah.
Luckily he was like on the mat, on the padded mat ringside versus the stairs. If he'd have taken that bump on the stairs, man, he probably would have legit been out.
Yeah. Sure. That was crazy. So I'm very excited to see where that goes. But other than that, like I said, the Jey Uso of it all, it got me thinking. Like I was happy for him, but then I just made me realize, like, yo, I don't think he's it. I don't think he's it. Like I feel like he's gonna be along the same lines of when Kofi Kingston and Shinsuke, all had they like moments to kind of go up. But I feel like if you compare him to like Roman, Cody, Drew, Punk, and stuff, like he doesn't have all the tools to be like a solidified main eventer.
Now, if you look at, in the people that you compare, like you compare to Shinsuke, you compare to Kofi. I don't know if you threw anybody else in there, but those were just like flash moments. Like we've been building to this moment for Jey Uso to actually get to the peak of this for like the past 3 or 4 years. Like when the Bloodline story started, that's we've been building to that since then. So like there has to be a Jey Uso payoff.
My
You know what I'm saying? It has to be.
my whole thing is like you're right. They have been building for this for the last 4 years, and he said that he's been working hard, but I feel like the only thing he's been able to do is get himself over. But he hasn't gotten like better promo wise. As we seen last year at Mania, he had one of the worst matches I've ever seen in my life.
You talk about Super Kick Fest 24?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I feel like he's done nothing outside of getting himself over to be that guy. Like he doesn't have good matches. His matches are very meh. He's not the greatest on the ring. He's the type of person that like when they want to show emotions, they sound like they about to cry. And I'm one of those people. But
Hmm.
it's not good to convey that when you're trying to like be passionate in the ring. Like it doesn't work. And all he does is say yeet. Like that's very much a one trick pony.
So I feel real strongly about this because it's like I don't have a problem with Jey Uso per se. And the only thing that made me okay with the finish of that match was the John Cena press conference afterwards. Because for John Cena not to get a 17 championship in his last year is criminal. Like, I don't know if I
Hmm.
can do without that. Like I'm gonna have to lace him up if that's not the case, bro. We gotta figure this
Yeah.
out. So the fact that he said he
And
was gonna
Trent
step in the
32?
hey, 31, 32, something. Women's this is so it's like the only thing that made that win okay for me was John Cena saying, "Hey, look, I know y'all wanted me to win. I'm gonna go win something else. This one I had to pay homage, or I had to pay it forward." And he's a class act for that. But like I said, Jey Uso, they're really gonna have to cook within the next 3 months between now and Mania in order for me to become invested on me seeing him versus Cody or Gunther for the title. Because it's like, if y'all look back, this same Yeet movement is the same thing as LA Knight's Yeah movement, and they didn't give him a payoff. And arguably, the Yeah movement was bigger than the Yeet movement. And I feel like that might be a reason why he felt like he had to get his shit off during that Rumble.
Oh no, though, because like Jey Uso has the entire arena, stadiums. You know what I mean? They bouncing. He got merchandise in every stop on their tours right now. So
Hmm.
and then it translates to social media. Like LA Knights, yeah, was dope for wrestling fans. Like shit, I'm probably still one of the biggest LA Knight fans there is, and LA Mont. But you know what I'm saying? But it's it feels like it's just boxed into wrestling fans. Like Jey Uso was on he was on Nightcap with Shannon Sharp and
He was.
Ocho.
He was.
Then he was on I'm pretty sure he did a Pat McAfee spot, and he did something else. Like he's transitioned, he's crossed over. And like the Yeah movement, the LA Knight joint, it was short lived. We knew he wasn't gonna win being on SmackDown. He was not gonna take the strap off of Roman Reigns. It was a short movement. This Jey Uso thing has been building since what, 20? Like been the Thunderdome. Like it's been building since then. So I think it's right now from a money standpoint, even if I don't agree that he might be a good champion or whatever, from a money standpoint and what's best for business, they have to pay it off at Mania now. Because the dollars that they can flip off of him becoming a champion at Mania with merchandising and appearances, and they're gonna be selling cigarette lighters, cereal bowls. They're gonna be selling yeet condoms, whatever they want, man. Like they're gonna turn $1 off of the yeet movement, bro.
Skeeting and yeet.
Skeeting and
and
yeeting, bro.
is crazy word.
Dog, I'm telling
Crazy
you, man.
word.
Hey, look, it's gonna be the next
Skeeting and
remix.
yeet is
Hey, look, Sexy
crazy
Red
word.
and Jey Uso ski yeet. It's gonna be
Yeah.
amazing.
I don't
So-
need that on my screen.
So the one thing that I had to, you said something that kind of triggered me. It's like, all right, you compared them to like LA Knight, and I feel like that's a very accurate comparison because
No, you compared them to LA Knight.
I ain't
I
compared to
did.
LA Knight.
I
Oh,
did.
okay.
But I
I'll
feel
say it
like
again.
LA Knight was good until he had that match with Roman, and then he got exposed for being just okay. And I feel like the same thing is going to happen with Jay. Like he was good when he was like, you know, a mid Carter, like, and he really haven't had any feuds, so you can't really get behind him in the ring. So he just have his 1 or 2 matches, and people are like, oh, you know, we want to see Jay do better. But he hasn't had a chance where he could actually go out and really prove that, you know, he is the man. Even in his Intercontinental title, that was only for like 2 or 3 weeks. And he wasn't really able to show like, all right, I'm the guy in the ring. I can do, I can have these matches, all that type of stuff. But I feel like when he actually goes up against I believe he's gonna face Gunther again, which is stupid to me.
We'll get back to it. Me and Clay had
Yeah.
a conversation about that earlier.
Okay. So yeah, I feel like when he goes up against him, he's going to be exposed again as somebody who's only over with the crowd. Like, especially like on the mic. I don't think he's gonna be able to go against Gunther or Cody, and so he's gonna look like he just don't belong.
It could be compelling. It could be compelling. It could go either way though.
Yeah. I think his story altogether is really all he needs to do on the mic. For real, for real. It's like, I don't have to tell you I'm the best wrestler. I don't have to tell you that I'm gonna whoop your ass or none of that. Like, you're just a part in the movie that I'm in. Like, I'm proving something that I'm an individual from my family. Like, nobody thought that I'm in the greatest wrestling family of all time. And everybody only saw me as a twin. Like, I'm doing this to prove everybody that, you know what I mean, that I'm not Jonathan. You know what I'm saying? I'm main event Jey Uso.
But the only issue with that, though, which you're right, if he's able to tell that story, then great, he'll be over. But as we seen on Monday, he's not the person who can be emotional and tell the story. Like even with his promo on Monday, I was like, "Yo, is he still up here?"
Well,
Like,
Was a lot of that.
I think he was too worked up. Like, just from the emotion of coming out, being welcomed by the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like, just being in the ring. Like, sometimes you can tell when somebody's like nerves really got them. Their breathing is fucked up.
mhm.
And you pair that with the fact that he was in the crowd, like he was going crazy with the fans. Now you want him to deliver a promo. I would have liked to have seen and they might correct this moving forward. But if they want him to do a promo or something like that, maybe start the show with him already in the ring.
They ain't gonna miss a chance to do a
Or
little entrance.
Yeah, that is true.
or you have him cut a promo, like, you know what I mean, in Gorilla or whatever, where he gets his talking points out, like, you know what I mean, before he walks through the crowd. So that way when he gets into the ring, he got 1 or 2 lines to say, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, they got a whole lot of money behind this right now. So I think all of our concerns they're probably already addressing. But yeah, I'm gonna save the other point that me and Clay had earlier today. We'll save that for where we go after the Rumble.
Okay,
Real quick.
Yeah.
On Monday, it's like I feel like they just handed him a microphone and they didn't give him any talking points. Like I feel like that promo wasn't scripted at all. They were like, just go out there and tell him how you feel. And Jay was like, I feel like crying. So I mean, that's pretty much how I translate it. And I mean, the build. I'm glad that Gunther came out and kind of redirected the promo.
Gave it some direction, yeah.
But it didn't really add anything to it because I just saw this match 2 weeks ago. So it's like
Right.
until y'all get me invested, I don't think that. The only reason I believe that Jay can win is because he's supposed to win. Like that's the only reason that I believe that he can win. So like I said, they're gonna have to add some value to this.
Gunther's title reign has been lackluster. It's not as good. It's not as good as or convincing as his IC title reign. So I feel like it's time for for a reset for what his character's direction is going to be.
Yeah.
And it just he doesn't have any layers. Like it's just like how Brock Lesnar's title reign was. It's like, okay, who is Gunther about to beat next? Like nobody has been a believable challenger.
And
True.
Gunther, he doesn't have his talk. He doesn't have his mouthpiece anymore. Like he doesn't like the greatest part of his presentation to me was dead, like da-da-da. And then like how Ludwig would catch his jacket when he threw it back and he whipped that joint back and threw it back.
Presentation, bro.
Bring back Ludwig Kaiser. Like Ludwig Kaiser, like he added to the magnitude of what the Gunther presentation was. Like, how are you the man that, because they when he comes out there, his graphic has the pillars and stuff like that, just like he's the head of an empire, but he has no subjects. There's nobody following him. You know what I'm saying? So he lost.
I got a hot take on that later on.
Yeah, he lost a lot of his aura when Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci end up feuding with each other, and now Giovanni Vinci's off TV. Ludwig Kaiser's never beside. Yeah, Kaiser's never beside Gunther anymore. So it's just like now he's just a dude that walks around in a suit with no knee pads in the ring. It's like it's crazy.
Okay. So let's talk about the other match of the night. Actually, it was only 4 matches, but the other Mania match. What are y'all thoughts on the women's Rumble?
The other Rumble match, other Mania match.
Yeah.
I was about to say
Clay got me confused with this whole,
You just look at
he does have a Mania shirt on.
You know what I'm saying? A Mania hat.
I've been trying not to look at it because it's Philadelphia Eagle green.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's quite disgusting, actually.
I mean,
the women. Are you done putting your team over?
Sorry,
yes, y'all are playing this weekend.
Oh, okay, I just wanted people to know. You can carry on, if you like.
Disgusting. The women's joint. I was a fan. I was a fan of the match. I was a fan of. They brought they had some good cameos. I wasn't expecting Jada Parker. I wasn't expecting Lash Legend. I wasn't expecting Stephanie Vaquer. Like, only 2 people from NXT I was expecting was Julia and Roxanne Perez. So to see them actually get called up into a moment, that was dope to see. I was really hoping we was gonna get some AJ Lee. That was my pick for the surprise.
So I wanted to see that.
I really thought we was gonna get her.
I forgot about that.
And I thought we was gonna get her in that spot 30, but I was kind of happy that it was a Nikki Bella. So it was just because Nikki Bella, she's been gone from WWE for over 3 years now. So I'm glad it was somebody that hasn't been around versus like Jade Cargill. No. I'm talking about like the only reason I say that is I'm glad that they used that spot for it to be somebody that will be a real surprise versus somebody that's only been gone storyline for a hot minute. I would have loved to seen Jade Cargill get in there.
I think she should have came back.
Yeah, that would have been dope to see what her interaction would have been with Naomi and
Bianca.
And I'd be wanting to call her wifey.
We'll do that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Speaking of Bianca, man, she looked amazing. Didn't she
did. I give her that.
Wow.
Yeah.
She must have purified herself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka prior to that.
She's still number one on my depth chart on the roster. We still got to make that piece of content one of these days.
Yeah. She got over Liv. She's over Liv Morgan. I heard somebody was.
Hold up.
Speaking of Liv, the greatest ice queen.
No.
Her face. Alexa Bliss showed her face. It was amazing.
But Clay, let me talk to you for a second.
Okay,
so I don't know if you've seen a couple weeks ago. I feel like the episode we had Nato. I was like, yo, I'm really a big fan looks wise of Liv Morgan. And they're like, oh my God, she's not even better than Stephanie Vaquer.
Which was crazy.
She's not.
Which was crazy.
She's not better than Stephanie.
Come on with it.
GA, mute up for a second.
Yeah.
Don't
turn the camera off and everything.
Don't
turn around.
All right, what up?
Turn the chair around.
But then over the weekend, the other fellow on this telecast was just like, "Oh my God, she's just so beautiful. She's just this. She's that. She's the white woman of my dreams." And I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
Y'all pretty much said I had no taste because I said that she's an attractive woman."
I was appalled. Rashad. I was appalled when I heard that.
Did you hear that too?
I'm an avid listener and watcher. And I heard and saw all that Liv Morgan slander. I didn't appreciate it.
They made it seem like they made it seem like I said she was Piper Niven or something.
Just tell me. Just let me know when you're done.
Jervis, do you have a rebuttal? Because y'all had me heated. I wanted to say something multiple times.
Yeah.
First of all, I didn't say that Liv Morgan wasn't bad. I never said that. I just said she's not better than Stephanie McCurr. And then I said she's not even the best white that's on the show.
Which
She
I
not.
also was confused by.
Yeah. To me, hey, I like Alexa Bliss better than I like Liv Morgan.
Let's talk about it. That was a very surprising entry. That was a very surprising entry. Oh my goodness.
That one got me.
I pop hard.
And pause.
No pause. No pause.
Wow. Okay. All right.
All Diddy.
Oh.
Hey.
You but also, it was dope. It's dope now that this is they're at the spot where Speed is about to go out.
I love that.
But it was dope that they're playing into what people say on the internet. Because you heard Michael Cole say that the internet said she wasn't coming back.
Yeah.
And then Pat McAfee or Wade Barrett was like, "Don't pay attention to what you read on the dirt sheets, Michael."
Dirt sheets.
That was dope. I liked her jacket. Like the camera.
It said something about Bray or something.
Yeah, I think it said "Fiend Forever" on the back of the joint. But the camera cut away from it or whatever. Yeah. But I was really excited to see her back, man. Yeah. She looked, she looked like she's ready for action.
Yeah.
And she can actually. Yeah, and I think that she's probably gonna make her debut on SmackDown Friday because the Wyatt Six are on SmackDown.
Okay. So what I heard was they're putting her on Raw, and I was a little disappointed by that. But like they said, I was reading the dirt sheet, so I mean, you never know. Probably might not be true, but I'd be real disappointed if they didn't just throw her into the Wyatt Six stories straight up, like right off the Richter scale. I would be very disappointed.
But, I'm a little so all right. So this is probably gonna go into like one of my thoughts about like where they're going, like what's going on with Charlotte Flair. But I was not excited that she got the win.
I don't think nobody was.
The ending was bad for me. I think that there could have been another way to get her into a spot to where she has that match with Tiffany Stratton for the title. It just did nothing for me. Yeah. And you could tell that the fans in the arena, like especially on Raw, weren't really with the shits. Like she's out there and she's telling a story about like how hard she worked to come back and she's getting booed. Like I don't know, man.
She's just not believable as a face, yo. She's never been believable as a face.
So I feel like they tried to do a double swerve on Raw. Like I feel like she was always going to turn heel, but they were trying to get a big heel reaction by her starting off as face and then suckering the crowd into going for it and then dropping the heel bomb. But instead they were like, no, we know you're coming back heel. Nobody wanted to see that. But to be honest, I think they did the right move by giving her the win because I don't know who else they could have put in that position. Who do y'all think would have been a better Rumble winner than her this year?
I don't think nobody's been built up, so she was the only person.
Exactly.
I would have liked to have seen it be Bianca.
I would have too if they would have built her up in that way. Like Bianca.
And the only reason I say Bianca is because I'm sorry, I ain't mean to cut you off. Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if they would have built Bianca up in even the smallest way, I feel like it's super easy to kind of get her back on track. But since she's been in tag team for the past year, her singles action has kind of been mid. So I feel like even if they would have given her like a couple of meaningful like singles matches on SmackDown or whatever like that, I feel like she would have been a prime candidate to win because I feel like everybody wants to see her and Rhea. And then they could have had Charlotte win like Elimination Chamber or something like that to face Tiffany. But I feel like once I saw Flair's or Charlotte's entrance and she had the whole pomp and circumstance or whatever it's called, like I was like, oh, okay, she's going to win. But I've never been a fan of Charlotte. I feel like
how'd she come out? She the only one that got pyro.
My wife said that. My wife said the same thing.
That shit was a dead giveaway. That shit pissed me off.
Yeah.
Somebody else got pyro. In the men's match, somebody got pyro.
I'm talking about in the women's match. She the only one to get pyro.
Definitely.
Like Bianca don't get pyro. Naomi don't get pyro. Shit, Trish Stratus don't get pyro for coming
Nia
back.
Jax.
Nikki Bella don't get pyro. Nia, like Alexa Bliss been gone for like 3 fucking years. She don't
She
get
gone a long
pyro.
time, yeah.
But Charlotte Flair, but I get, because Charlotte Flair is the most accomplished woman, with regard to like title runs or whatever. I
Period.
get it, but it's just, to me, and this is my hot take. I think that, well, I know business is going to be putting her, back in title spots. But I think the Charlotte Flair that we've grown accustomed to doesn't fit where women's wrestling is right now.
Why you say that?
Because a lot of not saying that it fits, but it's not unique anymore. Because a lot of the women have caught up to where she was athletically. If you look at the card, there's nothing that she does athletically that stands out, jumps off the screen. Because before, like, what really made Charlotte, like, her doing the doing the corkscrew moonsault off the top rope to the outside, or doing the moonsault to the outside and all that shit. Like, half of the women on the card do that now.
You might be putting a little too much dip on your chip, brother.
I'm not saying half, but there are a lot of women that pull moves off like that now. So like, unless she's gonna debut some other dynamic to her move set, it's just gonna be like, all right, we seen Kalani Jordan do that on NXT.
Yeah,
Like
I agree with that.
We seen Io Sky do it off the top of the fucking cage.
Yeah.
Like what are you gonna do differently that's gonna set you apart aside from your Charlotte Flair?
Right,
that's my thing.
So I do think that she's gonna have to lean more into her tactician heel persona in order to get this character off. Because you're right, like, yeah, she's literally not the most athletic woman on the roster anymore, not even close. So it's like, but if you notice, like back when AJ turned heel, he stopped doing a lot of the flippy stuff. He started leaning more into the tactician. He didn't use the phenomenal forearm as much. He used the calf crusher. Like, she's gonna have to lean more into the heel persona, like, of not doing all the flippy stuff in order to get this character over. And right now, I don't really seem like but I mean, she hasn't really wrestled anything outside of the Royal Rumble, obviously, but this character doesn't seem any different from what she's been doing.
Same thing. Same
Yeah,
exact
right?
thing.
That's kind of what it seems like to me.
It seemed like they tried to make her a little bit more sexy or something like that, but it's still the same.
It's giving Emelina, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, it's trash. I mean, it's the same thing. It ain't like they did anything extra.
I really thought that they were gonna turn her up. Like, I thought she was gonna lean more like into like some stuff that her dad was doing, like make the pomp even more, make you more royal, more queen. But it's just getting
She
sharp,
dressing up
bro.
more and driving like fast cars and stuff like that. So
Dog,
That'd been hard.
it's the same thing.
Dog, she stole Giovanni Vinci's gimmick.
What was his gimmick?
Dressing up fancy and driving fancy cars.
Yeah,
like,
literally, bro.
But like, before he came back and got squashed by Cedric Alexander, I believe, or Apollo Crews, and went away.
Might as well be the same thing.
Yeah. They just rinsed and repeat that same gimmick on Charlotte, bro. Like, and like that, I hate to be the fashion police, but the yellow outfit, it didn't fit her right. It didn't complement her body type.
Give it Big Bird.
Come on, baby. Like, you a Flair. Like, you got to, what a designer, what a Gucci, what a Fendi, what a Prada. You know what I'm saying? Give it to me.
No disrespect to Shin. No disrespect to Shin, but that was definitely Shin.
Yeah, but it is what it is, man. We're gonna get Charlotte. We're gonna get Tiffany Stratton at Mania. It's gonna be, the new age Charlotte versus the young Charlotte. I think that's the way they're gonna build it. But
I'm excited to see that though.
Yeah, overall,
I think it's gonna be a good match.
Yeah, in all honesty, I wouldn't even have been mad to see Nia Jax win it. Like, the way that, and the only reason I say that is that, like, because of how good she's been over the past year, how much she's improved, and how strong they build her up in matches like that. You saw it was like 13 of them, like, trying to like stomp her out on the ropes, and she threw all of them off.
Right.
Like, come on, like, that, that lends to, okay, it'd be believable if she won. The people already hate her as a heel anyway. So like, but the Charlotte Flair joint, it just seemed like a force, dog. Like, I don't think anybody wanted it or was, excited to see it happen.
Yeah. Hopefully they lean into Rhea and Bianca. Like,
yes,
that's the only match that Rhea like can have at this point where it be an awesome match. Like, I feel like everything else has been done or it's not newsworthy enough. So hopefully, I know Jade is probably gonna come back. Hopefully, they put Jade with Naomi or something like that, and then Bianca can kind of face whatchamacallit, Rhea. So hopefully that's where they head to. So I guess I don't know if y'all want to talk about the KO and Cody and all that.
Yeah, of course. We have to
Yeah.
acknowledge our undisputed WWE champion. We have
Kevin
to.
Owens.
Huh?
You talk about Kevin Owens?
No, no, no. The WWE champion. The one with the
Oh.
royal family. Because there's more than one royal
Royal
family.
Oh, goes back to what we'll talk about at work today.
Yeah.
And even that's like, all right. So me leaning into what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, what were y'all talking about earlier?
So part of what we were talking about is like how Cody Rhodes. Let's take it back even further. Karrion Kross is the crafter of all heel turns recently. So Clay made a statement that like, yo, at some point or another, you're gonna have to show Karrion Kross talking to Cody Rhodes backstage or whatever. I think Cody Rhodes is the biggest heel in the company right now. One of which is the fact that he claims his family to be a royal family in wrestling. And I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? It's 2.5 people. Like, all right, Gold
He's
Dust.
full man. He's a full man.
But outside of the Gold Dust run, nobody really thinks about Dustin Rhodes. No offense, I love Dustin Rhodes, but Dusty had his run, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you got Cody. All right, so before Cody came back or whatever, he already had wrestling has whatever. The Anoa'i family is the real royal family. The Hart family is a royal family in wrestling because it's a multitude of people that are divine. Those are the three.
Yeah.
I said that today. I said the Anoa'i Fatu family, the Harts, and the Von Erich family because it's a multitude of people that are in it. Like you can't be. What royal court has 3 people?
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dog. All right, so he already claims himself to be a heel. He only befriends people if it's a benefit to him, which is a real toxic trait as a friend. And he blames other people for holding him accountable. That's classic heel shit. Nigga, you're my mans. They hit me with a car twice. Come on, bro. Like he hit me with a golf cart. Then they legit hit me with a car. And you still gonna be his friend? He tormented you for 4 years. All right, bet. So I told you this girl won't no good for you. She was cheating on you the whole time y'all was together. I kept telling you that she was no good for you. You finally listened because the shit got put into your face. And then at some point or another, you decide, hey, I'm gonna get back with her because it's advantageous to me. No, nigga, like, leave her alone. Why did he have to befriend Roman Reigns? You know what I'm saying? That's the shit that gets me is like, I don't care what my homeboy just went through or the fact that he almost died from vehicular homicide. I know that if I befriend Roman Reigns, I could possibly win. Good things could happen to me if I'm Roman Reigns' friend. Fuck you, Kevin Owens. He's a terrible person. He's a terrible person. He leaves nothing but destruction, heartache, and pain in his wake. He's a terrible person. He's one of the worst people I've ever seen on WWE TV. And they give him pyro. He's a heel. He's the worst person in the world.
So we're gonna have to have a graphic. We need a graphic for that too. I feel like there should have been a warning before that rant. Like that was.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. But the match was good. The match was good. There was you could tell that there was bad blood there. We got to see Cody tap into a side of himself that he hadn't done yet here. You know what I'm saying? It would have been nice if they could have pulled off the double switch there. But ultimately, I think it already happened because the fans were cheering Kevin at one point. And you know what I'm saying? And they were withholding doing certain stuff on TV with Kevin, like in front of a live crowd, like all those interviews that he was doing with Michael Cole outside the arena or whatever. Yeah. Like I read that they didn't want to do it in the arena because he would have got cheered.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a natural switch for them to flip Cody.
Whatever happens at Mania, Cody's gonna have a straight up heel turn.
Has to.
I feel like that's gonna be the end of Mania.
Hey Clay, do you want to tell him the other thing that we were talking about with regard to his heel turn at Mania?
How do you wanna get into it? Because it was like it was more than a hot take. This was spicy, bro. This
Go
was
ahead, go
Cholula
Okay.
Green. Ain't that what Booker T said? This was Cholula Green,
All right.
baby.
So we talked about the Jey Uso of it all, right?
hmm
And we're talking about like how we assume that it's gonna be Gunther that he picks, right? And he can finally get over the hump, because he's been losing to him or whatever. But then
What
I
if?
said, what if? What if the goal is for Cody to be a heel, if they're going to progress his character that way, what better way to have him be a heel if they put him up against the hottest babyface in the company?
Mm.
What if Jey Uso picks Cody Rhodes? You know Jay's going to get cheered. There's already mixed reactions for Cody Rhodes. Then you put Cody Rhodes possibly doing some dirty shit in the match to get booed.
hmm
He comes away from there with nuclear heat because he did some dirty shit to a guy that was supposed to be his friend, but it goes back to his cycle of toxicity and destroying friendships.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it'd be an easy double turn. And now, even though it might not be what we want or what some people might want, now you get the story of Jey Uso being the champion and he has the title that The Rock wanted to come back for to get from Cody. Or you have that's the title that Roman wanted to get back from Cody. It's just I think it's just so many more stories that you can spin off of that if Jay were to choose Cody. And you make Cody more I think you make Cody more valuable to the company as a heel now because you can sell the eventual turn of him coming back to be a face at some point.
So, all right. So, I'm not mad at that at all. Would it make more sense if Cody did that to Jay or to John Cena?
I'll step in for that one. I'll step in for that one. I
Mm.
think I think Jay, because it gets both of them to that next level of stardom. Like, especially if you can, like, let's say he goes to SmackDown. Let's say Jey Uso goes to SmackDown and talks to Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes is just dismissive of the whole situation. He's like, "Oh yeah, you just came to talk to me, right? Like, you don't really want to fight me, do you? Like, come on, Cody, or come on, Jay, I beat Roman at WrestleMania. You can't even laser Roman. Like, what if he takes that angle with it? Like,
Yeah.
that's the catalyst right there. It's like, well, Jay is
Mhm.
gonna automatically be, well, what do you mean I can't? What do you mean I can't beat you? I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
run the Royal Rumble. So I mean, if
Yeah.
if that's the angle they take with it, then I'm invested.
And then Jay Uso can really he could tell stories that lends to how bad of a person Cody Rhodes is, dog. Like you were at your hottest because of my family.
hmm
Like you needed my family to help you get through battles. Like you needed my family to help you be at the top of the card. For 2 to 3 years, you were at the top of the card because you were involved with my family. Like I'm putting an end to that shit. Like my family doesn't need you. My family's the royal family. You need my family to be relevant.
I feel like I like that scenario. The only thing is that I feel like Jay would not beat Cody. If y'all want it to be where Cody gets this massive heat, Cody will have to walk out of Mania with the
Mm,
belt.
That's not a bad play.
yeah,
That's not a
him
bad
as a
play.
heel champion.
That's not a bad
Yeah,
play. Honestly, that
if
probably
that
would work a little bit
yeah.
better, huh?
But I want Jay to get his moment, dog. Like if that's the case, pick Gunther, baby. Take it off Gunther.
Yeah.
Nah. Because then the only believable way that I'm seeing Gunther lose a title is to John Cena. So it's like if we run it that way, this works for both sides for me. Both championships get where they need to be for me. I don't know.
So, all right, so let's go into the next topic, which is we directly piggyback off that. After Rumble is when things really pick up for Mania. And I feel like normally at the Rumble, you can kind of figure out all the different spots that, we're going to be heading to far as Mania. For me, I'm completely confused. There's so many different avenues, there's so many different options, possibilities. I'm just not sure where any of this is heading. So, where are we going at for, matches when it comes to Mania?
Dog, like after this past road to WrestleMania, that this last WrestleMania, the lead up was unprecedented. Like I've never seen a road to WrestleMania like that before. to the
Yeah.
point where I have no idea what's real. They breaking kayfabe, they shooting. Like it's just like that was mean. I ain't had no choice but to buy tickets. I said, bro, I need to go see the culmination of this.
Yeah.
So when it leads into this WrestleMania, with Triple H has full creative control, like
Mm.
I don't know what he about to do. I have no idea. With Roman, Seth, Punk, Drew, Paul Heyman, I don't know where they're going with that whole story.
Yeah.
That's just outside the main title picture.
I was telling somebody a couple days ago. I feel like there's too many big names that need big matches, and it's not enough people. It's not enough big names to create those big matches for everybody.
Let
Like
me
if you
shoot
really
in
think,
real quick after, I would say before GA goes. Go ahead,
yeah,
Rashad. I
I
saw you
feel
about to
like
say
you
something.
got. Let's talk about all the people that need big matches. You have Roman, you got Seth, you got Punk, you got Cena, you got now they have Jay has a big match, you got Gunther who
Yep.
needs a big match,
Yeah.
and
Crazy.
then you also got Drew needs a big match.
Yes.
Logan is normally has a pretty solid match, and
Yeah.
then you got KO needs a big match.
KO.
Yeah.
And let's not forget Randy Orton.
Randy Orton.
Shit. Yeah.
So it's mad people that need a major match, and there's not enough people to go around for exciting matches to make that happen.
This just puts me in the like when I was watching the Rumble, and like you said, after number 16, where you had Punk and Seth and Drew and AJ and all Cena, all of them in the same ring, I was like, yo, this is Attitude Era esque. When you had The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H, Mankind, Kane, Undertaker, like you have that amount of stars in the same place at the same time. It was a ring full of Hall of Famers at one point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you they can start moving these pieces and give these people these big matches, but they're gonna have to be between each other. I feel like
Yeah.
one of them's gonna have to
Now
be a
let me
multi-man match.
now let me yeah. Now let me ask you this. Do we think that John Cena has to have Cody Rhodes at Mania? Or John Cena has to have a title match at Mania?
I don't think he has to, but I feel like that's kind of where they're leaning towards him having a title match. But I mean, yeah,
Because John Cena wants to do what's best for business, right?
uh-huh.
He's gonna want to, put like him putting over Jey Uso. He had to okay being the guy that did that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And I think that he wants to get that 17th title win. It doesn't necessarily have to happen at Mania. Like it because what he's at 16 now, right?
uh-huh.
What if SummerSlam's gonna be 2 nights this year? What if it happens at SummerSlam? What if they tell some sort of compelling story for him leading it? Because I think him getting in at Mania is forcing it, and I think it stops a lot of stories that were already brewing.
To hop in real quick, I think there's three little caveats that make all of this a little bit more trickier. Like, so you have the Cena saying that he wants to win a championship at Mania. We got that. Cool. We also have Punk wanting to main event Mania, which he's been talking about for like the last year. Then on top of that, we also have Punk with this favor that from Roman and Paul Heyman that you feel like should lead somewhere at Mania.
Mm-hmm.
So we also have those things that we need to kind of take into account as well.
Crazy,
That
man.
should lead to
Crazy.
something at Mania.
Crazy. It's just so many different scenarios, so many different little stories, and everybody just want like I mean, that goes back to what you said. Everybody wants their spot. John Cena has to leave this year with a 17th title reign. I thought he had to win the Royal Rumble. Obviously, that's not the case. Now I think he has to win the Elimination Chamber. But honestly, that might not be the case either. I'm riding right now. Pause. I gotta pause that one. I ain't like that at
Yeah,
all.
that's crazy.
But yeah,
That's
that was a
wild.
little rough.
Hey man,
But
yeah, you've been on the roll.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna keep rolling. But yeah, at this point, I don't know where he gets the title, but you cannot leave. He cannot leave 2025 without that 17th
True,
title.
but we also have still what's this? We have
February.
10 more months, so we can
Yeah.
that can always happen.
You got SummerSlam, you got Survivor Series, shit. You got if they want to pull it off of the Crown Jewel,
Mm,
you got
He can win Money in the Bank.
you got Backlash.
crazy.
Cena winning Money in the Bank will be crazy.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
Now
Man,
what? Because so Money in the Bank is before Mania, right?
No, no,
no,
no. It's
it's in
like
June.
yeah, it's like June
Well,
stuff.
Damn.
summer.
Because that
Because
would have been cool
who
to see him
cashed in?
possibly. It would have been dope to see him win it, and then him not have a Mania match, and then him cash in on. That'd be
Yeah.
dope.
Who
So
cashed in?
Drew
Priest?
last year.
No, Drew
Yeah,
lost because of
yeah.
Punk.
No, Priest,
No. It was Drew. Drew
Drew won it
won
last year.
and
this
then
past
Priest
year.
cashed in.
No.
That was Drew. Oh, okay.
Priest won
Priest
the year
cast in
before
on Drew at
Hmm.
this
Mania.
WrestleMania. Then that was in April. Then in June, Drew won and tried to cash it in on somebody, and Punk cost him the briefcase. Remember?
Yeah.
Immediately, it was crazy.
Right. So, all right.
Like
So
CM Punk.
let's kind of just go through this real quick. Those names that we kind of threw out there as people who need a Mania match. Where do y'all think they're gonna land at? So let's start with and we ain't gotta deliberate on this long. We can just kind of hot take it real quick. But Cody, where do y'all see him landing at?
On his neck.
Hater.
He's he's gonna be in a title match. So I give him realistically, I'd say Cody, CM Punk.
I'm gonna say Cody J. I like Cody J. I like that.
I kind of like Cody J now too, but I think it's gonna be. So I'm gonna have to go with Cody, and I'm gonna have to go Cody Cena.
Yeah.
All right. So Roman Reigns, where is he gonna land?
Jacob Fatu.
Oh, shit.
Mm.
Wow. Um, I'm thinking Roman, Seth, Punk, triple threat, main event night one.
Mm. I just don't like triple threats that have nothing.
No title implication.
I feel it.
So I'm going Roman and Seth.
Mm.
I'm gonna just throw a random name in there that I feel like deserves a major match. Logan Paul.
Logan Paul, for what he does, I'd say Logan. Shit, run it back. Logan AJ Styles.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially after the interaction that they had
Yeah.
at Rumble. Didn't he eliminate? No. Cena
He did.
eliminated Logan.
Yeah. But Logan eliminated AJ.
Mm-hmm.
And AJ is. I don't even think they put him on a show yet, have they? They ain't put him on a show yet, right?
He moved to Raw last night.
Okay, well then, yeah. Let's do
Yeah.
that. I like Logan AJ.
Okay. What about Randy?
KO.
Stop doing that. I'm going first from now on because you keep taking my takes, man. Damn.
Okay.
So
no.
erase what he said. I said it. Do your little edit thing. When you do a little edit thing, do that and just move me to the middle.
So we not getting KO and Sammy at Mania for the 27th time.
Damn,
You know,
he did just attack Sammy.
super hot take. It's in the past too. I wanted KO to win at Rumble and have KO versus Sammy for the title at Mania. I don't think they've ever fought for a title.
Nah, but that wasn't gonna happen though.
KO is right.
KO
He
was
still is
right.
right. And he has they've crashed out on each other so many times. But this time, KO's right. Like Sami Zayn deserves to get his ass beat. Like, I need to get this put on a shirt. He hit me with a fucking car. And that's your man's. I gotta get that put on a shirt.
He hit me with a fucking car.
All right. I feel like those are the major topics, man.
What about Drew, man? What about Drew?
Yeah, where Drew? I think that him and Damian Priest.
Shit.
Which I'm not a fan of that match.
I think that'll be a dope ass match.
Yeah.
Just because Drew is strong enough to call the match, but Drew is also strong enough to allow Priest to do like some of his high flyer shit and actually catch so
yeah.
That's real.
Oh yeah, before we get too far, there's one match we forgot to talk about. The tag match.
Truth.
So all right, so we had DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns. All right, it was no pop. But the crowd started to get more into it, after they were into the second fall, which was cool. They wrestle. I was telling Shad earlier, like on the Yes We Still Watch Wrestling podcast last week, I was who was I going back and forth with? Was it yeah, Shaq was insulted that I wasn't like a real big Machine Guns fan. And it's not that I'm not a fan of them. It's just they haven't done anything to make me care about them. Because I know in the match they're gonna wrestle.
Wrestle.
Russell. Okay.
But you gotta do something to make me excited. Like you gotta get me in the door to watch you wrestle. Like if okay, why do I care? But they started to get people a little bit more invested, and then we got the thing that was music to my eyes and ears. We got the Street Profits back on TV.
Yeah.
We got to see them be badasses. I think they're presenting them as heels. Hopefully they allow them just to continue to just do some ruthless shit. I know it might not happen before Mania. I hope it does. But the titles need to be on the Street Profits, and they need to have them for quite some time. I need them to have the titles until Ray Phoenix gets there, and then Ray Phoenix and Penta can take the belts off of them.
Yeah, I'm here for that.
I
I guess that was all right.
Yeah, it was an okay match, but like me and Jey was talking a little bit a while ago. They just need to give them like Machine Guns, like give them like a little sit down interview with Michael Cole or something in the back, kind of talk about their past, why they in WWE, what they doing here. Like they need something, but just to kind of put them on TV and be like, yo, y'all supposed to care about these guys. And I could see even if it was 10 years ago when they were still a little bit more like flashier or a little bit faster, then you could just throw them out there in the ring. But they are like almost 40 years old, kind of doing cruiserweight moves, but it ain't really cruiserweighting like it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yo, had them talk in the background about like, yo, why are y'all here? Like you just can't just throw these old dudes out here with old faces and small bodies and just be like,
I was gonna say that.
Yo, yo, I don't know y'all. Like y'all ain't never been WWE before. Y'all ain't that hot where you supposed to like super care about 'em. Like if it was like Kenny Omega, I'd be like, all right, cool, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley ain't that.
Yeah.
Give them something that people can care about.
But they're gonna wrestle though.
They definitely gonna do
wrestle. I don't like that. Don't put that on the show. I feel like the Motor City Machine Guns have been around for such a long time. Like when I was dabbling into the TNA and the New Japan, like they are like when they say your favorite tag team, like that's a real statement. Like they are kind of like OGs. Like they were right after the Hardys. Like, but they like you're right. They weren't in the big league. They weren't in the big pond. They were doing all the side shows. But like y'all obviously know who your Young Bucks are. We know who the Young Bucks are, right?
Mm-hmm.
They never been in WWE. But if the Young Bucks were to pop up in WWE, it'd be a big pop.
I could possibly see that happening in the next couple of years.
They're gonna be about 42. They're gonna be old faces on young bodies too, though. So I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that. They both gonna be wearing Roman Reigns vests or some shit. I'm not gonna like that.
Wearing those little vest and slack combos they be wearing. So
mm-hmm.
The EVP get up. But like y'all said, the Motor City Machine Guns, I think they're just supposed to enlist like a nostalgic pop. Like they've been so established that we're just supposed to care, like you said. But you're right, Sean. They need to deliver their character to the casual fan or somebody that doesn't know them. I think that Triple H just thinks that we know that everybody knows who they are.
Mm-hmm.
But with the match, I don't feel like they were against DIY. I don't feel like they were given enough time to create a story. Like the match may have been like 14 minutes. 14 minutes for a 3-fall match for essentially 3 matches is kind of, it didn't tell the story. And then the crowd was hot off the Rumble running into it too. So it was like the first fall for people was probably a bathroom break, y'all, to be honest. But
now if like let's say they had like invested some time in their feud, like because if you've been watching SmackDown, like their interactions and shit, it's been kind of clunky. It hasn't really been like a consistent story they've been telling from week to week about like DIY and Machine Guns.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they had like a real blood feud leading into them, like, oh shit, I might not know much about the Machine Guns personally, but I'm invested in this. You know what I'm saying? Oh, like DIY hit Chris Satan or whatever this nigga's name is, hit him with a car, or like,
What's
that's my
more
default.
vehicular manslaughter? That's
No, I'm
crazy
telling you, man.
word.
Or they, you know what I'm saying, or they,
Maybe somebody gets hit with a car.
or they threw him with a dump. They threw him in a dumpster or something. Give me something, bro. Give me a reason why I should care, man.
Yeah.
Like, I know that you can wrestle 3 times, but you got to give me a reason to want to see you wrestle 3 times. Like, that's my only problem. Like,
I feel
I
like
could watch their matches with no audio and be amazed with like, yo, like they're great. Technically, they put on great fucking matches.
I feel like this SmackDown tag roster is like good on paper, but it's something about it where it's not connecting. Like, if you think about the last 3 tag champions, actually like the last 4, ever since Mania last year, even with Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, something wasn't connecting. You had DIY when they were faces, something just wasn't connecting with them. You had Bloodline, Tamatanga and Tongaloa, that wasn't it. For years, people told me that like the Gorillas of Destiny was gonna be like them guys when they got over to WWE. They won't. Machine Guns ain't it. Heel DIY ain't it. So like it's something that they just not
aside
doing.
from them, the best 2 tag teams that they have on SmackDown are the Street Profits and Pretty Deadly.
I like Pretty Deadly.
Yeah.
I like Pretty Deadly.
Yeah.
Pretty Deadly. They've been consistent with their direction. They've been consistent. Their gimmick is different. Like, they're good in the ring. Like, you compare them with anybody outside of the ring, and they can have an interesting like backstage segment with anybody. Like, that's, I think they should, I think Tripp's got his guys. I think the DIY train has kind of sailed, and it sucks for them, because if Vince would have believed in DIY like 3 years ago, we might be revering them the same way that we kind of like feel a way about the Usos to a degree. Like, because they were that hot, and they could have been, booked strong, but they didn't, you know what I'm saying? They didn't put any fire behind them. So like, the only consistent tag teams that have been really doing their shit consistently is Pretty Deadly and the Street Profits.
Yeah, that's why I feel like at Mania, which I feel like is going to come down to Mania, they're going to have like a 14 ladder match for the titles or something like that. It's going to be Street Profits winning.
I hope so.
I hope so too. But I also, as I've always said on this platform, it needs to lead, as soon as they win the titles, it needs to lead to a breakup. Like, maybe not immediately, but in the next 3 to 4 months, it needs to lead to a breakup.
Damn, you want them at the celebration dinner and Montez to throw the cake in his face? Damn, like,
it needs to,
I'm gonna hit him with a car.
Yeah.
Montez's time is now, and it needs to happen. We can't be pushing this off for another year or 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like the SmackDown, like you said, the SmackDown tag team roster, it's good on paper. It's a lot of good talent. There just hasn't been compelling stories. I actually like DIY as a heel. They've been coming up with some pretty cool spots. That like fake tag that they did in the match, that was probably like the spot of that match. That was good.
Yeah.
But it's like when you don't have anything, no juice back in the story, like you said, when they just wrestle, it don't really give me much. Like this ain't the tag teams back in the day. Like, you can't just get off just watching the Hardy Boys and the Dudleys. Like, I'm just not invested enough.
Even them, they had something. Like, these guys, like, I don't even know why DIY are together at this point.
Whoa.
Like, they didn't give me a reason to be like, oh, they're back together. Like, okay, dope. It was just like, all right. Like, somebody said in the meeting at 3, and then they putting them back together.
They got to do something, man.
But another Mania match that I think we will see, or I'm hoping that we see. Yeah, they've been forecasting what Chad Gable is going to do. He's going away to learn the dark arts of Lucha Libre.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just looking at dark arts. That seems to have like a connection with one Aleister Black.
Love it.
I would love, and it would feed families, Aleister Black versus Penta at Mania.
But what Chad Gable gonna do?
Chad Gable
I mean, what's he gonna do at Mania though? Like, I feel like Chad Gable needs a Mania match though.
He said, "Watch." He gonna watch.
Nah. He needs a
shit. maybe him and Otis get their payoff. Maybe.
I would rather
But
just see Aleister Black and Chad Gable, to be honest.
but no, I think you can bring Aleister Black back at Mania. Like they set up like Chaz, like he sets up the match with Penta, and he's like, and I have just the right person for it or whatever. And then that Aleister Black music hit, and he
So
set up,
hard, bro.
man.
Yeah.
So, bro.
But yeah, that's just me salivating for a fantasy match.
Okay.
Man.
Last one. I know we kind of got also as far as Mania matches. Jacob Fatu.
Realistically, I'll let you go.
Who?
You.
Okay. Well, I would say it's got to be Solo, right? I mean, it really don't make any more sense. Like, I don't think him with Roman, right? I see something bigger for Roman right now. I don't even think they're in the same ballpark when it comes to like storytelling right with this right now. But it kind of has to be Solo. If he don't get a match at all, then I'm okay with that too, I guess. Because him versus Solo is also just unbelievable. Like that's a bloodbath, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they built Solo up to now like he means nothing.
Just a big job, bro. Solo job.
What if he show up to WrestleMania with them 2 tickets? Him and Zilla Fatu show up with the 2 tickets.
That'll be dope.
What about the women's though? I feel like we didn't call any women's for the WrestleMania matches either. No, the championships or nothing.
I think it's pretty obvious. I think we get Charlotte, Tiffany Stratton. Who else the other title?
Rhea.
So I think we find a way to get Rhea Bianca. I think Bianca's gonna win she's gonna win the Elimination Chamber. I think we get Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Because I think it's gonna be Naomi that actually took her out. Like, but you know what's crazy though? Jade Cargill shouldn't come back and be cool with Bianca or Naomi. Because like, yo, all right, y'all supposed to be my folks, right? You know what I mean? Like, you mean to tell me all this time, y'all ain't shook no trees, y'all ain't beat nobody up, y'all ain't pressed nobody up against the wall by their collar, you ain't went in the production truck and asked them, can they pull surveillance footage or nothing?
You ain't hit nobody with a car? What?
Right. Yes. I got thrown. I hit a car. I got thrown into a car. You know what I'm saying? And y'all just keying. She got my title.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all just having the time of y'all lives, and y'all haven't invested any energy or nothing into figuring out what the fuck happened to me. Y'all not even liking my posts on social media. Like, what am I chopped liver? Like, what is going on, man? This is terrible.
The issue with all that, like, I feel you, and that makes all the sense. But I feel like Jade would be much better as the heel. So for her to like come back, like I said, more than likely it's gonna be Naomi. For Naomi to be heel and then Jade to still be the face doesn't make sense to me. I'd much rather Jade to be.
Now I think they could do it in a way where Jade comes back, and the way she comes back is a blindsided attack on Naomi without even talking. I ain't gonna cut no promo. You know what the fuck you did.
Yeah, I can see that.
And it has to be like, something. Like, dang, like she just attacked Naomi because she was jealous of her relationship with Bianca, and then she come out and she's like, nah, I attacked her because she attacked me. They be like, oh, show the footage.
Show the footage.
And I wouldn't roll that beautiful bean footage. And I wouldn't want her to say anything about it until, like, I want Naomi to be clueless the entire time. And then right after she pins her at Mania, she grabs the mic and she says, she know what she did, but it's time for y'all to know what she did. Like, y'all take a look at this. And as she's walking down the ramp, going back out the ring, they show the surveillance footage of Naomi being the one that attacked her. So you get Jade being the heel leading into it, but then walking out of Mania, you flipped her and now she's back face, and now she can be, now she can be back on merchandise and all that shit.
Gotcha.
I get that.
Okay.
I get that.
Okay. I ain't mad at it.
I get that.
All right. We got any hot takes for today before we close out this episode? I feel like we ran long.
Yeah. But yeah, my hot take was Charlotte.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a crazy
Clay, you got
take.
any hot takes?
Maybe. I'm disappointed in the direction of these mid-card titles for the women. because we just went through a whole show, and like
Woo! Woo!
we went through a whole show, and it's like I don't even know if they have us either one of them, Lyra Valkyria or Chelsea Green. I don't even know if they have a match at Mania. So it's like, what are we really doing with these titles? I feel like they boxed themselves in a corner where it's like they have a lot of, like you said, they have a lot of talent and a lot of spaces to fill, and they ain't putting energy but into a couple different stories. But this road to WrestleMania gonna have to pick up, bro. I'm gonna have to hit somebody with a car, bro. Straight like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I feel like with these
Yeah.
mid card titles, like I said, they did a lot at one time. Like the IC title, which I feel like should mean more, doesn't mean anything. Like they
Mm.
need to have some challenges, like right out the gate. Like I feel like Chelsea is going to end up facing like Piper Niven or something like that. Which I'm not mad at
That's a
that.
solid strap there.
Yeah, yeah. Double strap, double
I heard
strap,
somebody say IC title. I just assumed
man.
Becky 2 belts over there.
double strapped up
Double strapped up.
on a Wednesday night.
Man, got
Is
the
it great
double
to be
headed.
alive on
The
a
double.
Wednesday night? Wait a minute. See, I knew this was gonna happen. That's the title of the show, ain't it? If I would have knew that, I wouldn't even have joined this thing,
It
man.
might be. You never know.
The double-headed dildo.
What's going on here?
But yeah, I feel like they should need
Man,
to do something like the U.S. women's title doesn't mean nothing, and Chelsea's doing. I feel like she's doing a pretty solid job, but it ain't really.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
I feel like they
Lyra
only
just,
needed one belt.
I believe that too.
I think Michan's gonna be the next women's US title champion holder. Just because she's love how much better she's gotten in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
She's developed her character a little bit more, and they've had a decent consistent feud.
Yeah.
Like they hate each other's guts. So I think she's probably gonna be the next one up. IC title side.
I wouldn't be mad if it's like Lara.
I got Roxanne Perez.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Jordan Grace?
I think she went to NXT for a little bit.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
But you never know. I'd like to see, because Roxanne Perez and Jordan Grace have a history. So maybe, because with Lyra Valkyria being a face, they want to have a heel take it off of her. So I could see Roxanne Perez taking it from her, since she's essentially about to be on the main roster. 'Cause I think she said something about going to Raw.
Yeah.
Seeing her take the belt off of her, and then they introduce her into a story with Jordan Grace.
Okay. All right, guys. I think we did it.
Yeah, man.
I ain't got nothing else to say.
And we did it all without getting hit by a car. So before we close out, man, hey, Clay, do us a favor and tell the folks where they can find you, man.
Usually I'm usually found in parts unknown. If you're looking for me, you can find me in a trap. You know what I'm saying? I'm the phenomenal Clay Giles. That's me, like AJ's phenomenal AJ's Clay Giles.
You putting a lot of dip on your chip, brother.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of dip. The chip broke.
My bad. That's where I'm at, man. You want to look for me, man? I'll find you. You know what I'm saying? Don't even worry about it.
Well, damn. All right, that's very mysterious. Yeah. Like he's man, straight out of Death Valley. Brother Shad, what can the folks find you, man?
You can find me everywhere at Shad Harris, also on YouTube at Shad Harris. Also, make sure that you subscribe to the Kayfabe Cowboys YouTube channel, where we have a whole bunch of videos, whole bunch of content. Go and check out some of the old episodes. You can also go back and check out the episode where GA said that Liv was a mid-white woman.
I never said she was mid. I never said she was mid.
I seen that one.
My gosh, man.
Slanderous.
What about you yourself, brother? Where can they find you at?
You can find me in disbelief. But other than that, you can find me at It's Zach Morris, all one word. You can find me here on the Kayfabe Cowboys podcast at Kayfabe Cowboys. You can find me as at the next meeting of the BFAB fan club. We got a lot of action items coming from the Rumble. Oh yeah, shout out to BFAB for just all of her improvements lately. She's really been putting in work, and just shout out to all the Black women that was in the Rumble. They did a phenomenal job. Like I'm black, y'all. I'm blackity black. It was amazing, man. I really enjoyed that. And most notably, I want you all to never forget that Brett screwed Brett. Die Rocky Die. We out. Peace.
Cool.